This is Missionary Jacob's Notes of Hope.
Okay, let's just try to picture this for a second. It's dawn at the shore of the Sea of Tiberias. The air is cold, it's damp, and it has that fishy smell. The disciples are just bone tired. They've been out all night throwing their nets and have caught absolutely nothing. But when they get to the shore, they see someone has already started a warm fire and breakfast is cooking. It was Jesus. So let's dive right into this powerful moment of restoration. Now, there's a really fascinating detail here, and it's this: the charcoal fire. For the other disciples, this was probably just a welcome bit of warmth, but for Peter, the smoke and the smell of that charcoal fire, it had to have been a punch to the gut. It was a trigger, a powerful signal that would have instantly transported him back to the most shameful moment of his entire life. Because on the coldest night of Peter's life, in the courtyard of the high priest, there was another charcoal fire burning, and it was right there that he denied even knowing Jesus. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. So you see how intentional this is, right? Jesus brilliantly sets the stage where the very symbol of Peter's deepest failure, the charcoal fire, now becomes the place where his healing begins. The scene of the crime becomes the scene of his restoration. So after they finish breakfast, Jesus breaks the silence, and he doesn't beat around the bush. He looks directly at Peter and asks this piercing question: "Simon, son of John, do you love me more than these?" Wow. This question cuts right to the heart of Peter's old pride, doesn't it? He's the one who boasted that even if everyone else abandoned Jesus, he never would. But notice Peter's answer now. There's no comparison anymore. He just says, humbly, "Yes, Lord, you know that I love you." And Jesus doesn't just ask once. He asks the same question 3 times. This is no accident. The number is incredibly precise and deliberate. 3 denials from Peter gets 3 questions from Jesus. And while each question might seem like it's digging into the wound, it actually has a completely different purpose. You can think of this as a kind of delicate spiritual surgery. Each question is like a skilled surgeon carefully removing the thorns of guilt, shame, and betrayal that are lodged deep in Peter's memory. Jesus isn't trying to shame him. He's healing him. He's covering over each painful memory of denial with a fresh declaration of love. Let's look at these stages of healing. As you can see on the slide, the first question targets his pride, his habit of comparing himself to others. The second question goes a little deeper, dealing with the raw memory of the failure itself. By the third question, Peter is grieved, but he finally just throws himself completely on the mercy of a Lord who knows everything. And with that final confession, the healing is complete, and a new purpose is cemented. I pay close attention to what Jesus does every single time Peter confesses his love. He gives him a command: feed my lambs, tend my sheep, feed my sheep. See, his restoration wasn't just for his own personal peace of mind. No, that restoration was immediately connected to his mission. His love was now meant to be the fuel that would drive his entire life's work. All right, so this brings us to a really crucial point. This whole conversation teaches us what the single most essential qualification is for serving God. Is it amazing leadership skills, deep theological knowledge, a magnetic personality? This scene tells us it's none of those things. The one non-negotiable qualification and driving force for ministry is simply this: love. A deep, personal love for Jesus. If we try to care for people out of our own strength, we're going to burn out. We'll hit our limits so fast. But when our service flows from our love for Jesus, everything changes. This slide shows the difference so clearly. Service without love, it just becomes a chore, a heavy burden that wears us down. But service that's rooted in love, that becomes something else entirely. It becomes a life-giving, profound act of worship. It's the practical expression of our love for the Lord. So, Peter is restored, his mission is clear, and now Jesus shifts the conversation to what this new life, the life of a disciple, is actually going to look like. And he gives Peter a pretty startling prophecy about his future. Jesus tells him that when he was young, he was in charge. He went wherever he wanted. But when he gets old, he'll be led where he does not want to go. This was a prophecy of Peter's martyrdom. The life of a disciple means handing over the steering wheel. It's a shift from my will to your will, and it means obedience even when the path is difficult. Right after hearing this intense prophecy about his own life, Peter has a very human reaction. He looks over at his friend, the disciple John, who's following them, and he asks, "Lord, what about him?" It's an almost instinctive reaction to compare, right? If my path is going to be that hard, what about that guy's path? but Jesus had given them different yet equally important assignments. Peter was called to testify through his martyrdom. John was called to testify through his writing. In fact, John is the one who wrote all this down for us. Their callings were different, but one wasn't better or worse than the other. And here we get to another massive takeaway. Your calling is unique to you. It wasn't given to you so you could line it up next to someone else's and see how it measures up. The moment we start looking sideways, comparing our journey to someone else's, we fall into a trap. Comparison can turn even the best ministry into a field of jealousy and envy. This is Jesus' firm, razor-sharp response. What is that to you? You follow me. This is a powerful command, designed to immediately pull Peter's gaze away from John and fix it back where it belongs, on his own personal walk with Jesus. Ultimately, the journey of faith is not a race against the person next to you. It's a matter of where you fix your gaze. We are not called to look to our left or our right to see if we're ahead or behind. We are called to look ahead, at Jesus, who is walking in front of us, and to follow in his footsteps. So as we wrap this up, let's turn these questions on ourselves. What's the charcoal fire in your memory, the place of failure that Jesus wants to turn into a place of restoration? Who is the John in your life, the person you constantly find yourself comparing your journey to? And most importantly, when you hear that clear, direct command cutting through all the other noise, you follow me, what is your answer going to be?